When I think about One Stone and the meaning behind the name, I think about how one person, one event, one moment or decision can have a ripple effect on lives, a community, and even the world. This concept of a ripple effect is at the core of how I process my experience at One Stone and how I hope to continue my life at college and beyond.
Before I came to One Stone, I didn't have many friends and I was super shy. I was never part of a community. I got bullied quite a bit, and this made me put a lot of walls up.
Before I came to One Stone, I was really not that much different. But I was a lot more shy, afraid of everyone, and I thought I was pretty lame compared to everyone else.
I had a complete lack of passion in my life. I pretty much just wanted to hang out down at the skate park and get in trouble.
I struggled a lot with mental health, and my grades were really struggling. I just couldn't learn the way they were trying to teach me. I really didn't like school, and it was extremely hard for me to get myself to go.
I just struggled a lot to navigate social interactions without just being super nervous and scared the whole time.
When I heard about One Stone, it sounded too good to be true. A school that is run by students is something that I had never heard of before, and it sounded really interesting.
Well, at first I heard no grades, and that kind of set me off, and I automatically wanted to do it. But then kind of reading deeper in, it just felt like a more positive learning experience for me.
When I heard that I would be attending One Stone as a first-year student in 2017, I was shocked and blessed.
Coming to One Stone was the scariest thing I've probably ever done this far in my life.
It took me a while to let my walls down at One Stone, but I'm really glad I did.
I was so honest and vulnerable in my interview, and I realized when I opened my acceptance box that someone had heard me that day. They were giving me a second chance at education, an education that will prepare one for the real world and build them a tool belt for life just like it has for me.
I was into conservation before this, but What's Mine Was Ours really accelerated that and showed me that even though I might not be able to vote or whatever, I still have a huge voice that I get to use, and no one can take that away from me.
With grit, I think I really grew because I had to push through so many times in things that I didn't want to do, and I just I had to persevere and do that. And I feel like I've grown so much in grit and problem solving. Just when something doesn't work, finding how to make it work, or how to just completely change out something for something else and just solve it. I mean, it's in the name, problem solving. Just solve the friggin' problem, man.
And so quantum computing. And so this is where I did a deep dive into quantum computing, and I learned a lot about, I learned so much about just what quantum computing is and what the practical uses about it is. But I also learned a ton about what kind of the abstract mathematics behind it is, of how can you do math where you don't know the state of the numbers you're adding.
The Cyber Patriot competition is it's a nationwide high school and middle school cybersecurity competition where you find vulnerabilities on different virtual machines, vulnerabilities, yes, but little hack clients and stuff, and kind of cleaning the computer, and you get points for that. I found that it was a very tedious process, and honestly, it was a little bit of a downside to it was many tedious hours. It would get to the point where it was 6+ hours straight of just working on a single computer, trying to find problems with it.
And One Stone also puts you in a lot of situations where you have to act confident and certain. Like this picture was at the one event, and we had to ask random people to take their pictures and try to explain why, and they were just really confused because it was loud. But that definitely taught me to act with confidence. So
I've never been good at sitting in front of my computer for hours on end, looking at words on a screen, but Chad, my advisor for YLab, suggested that I split up my time into small portions of research, writing, and taking breaks. This became a successful way for me to do my work, and I will be using this method in the future.
And some of the growth points throughout the last 3 years, I think desire to grow, especially starting at take a stance. I think from there, I kind of was like, blew the top off my box and was like, oh my goodness, like it's endless. Like I can go anywhere. I can find out anything. I can do anything.
Being at One Stone, I was able to form like an amazing girl group, a girlfriend group that really supported me and showed me how to stand up for myself and how I should be treated. And so this support system was really eye-opening and made me realize that I wanted to do the same for other women and be there for other women in our community.
This is really, really fun for me because it allows me to think about this in a different light, that it's not as tedious because I can find ways to automate this with scripts and stuff. But really, this experience really opened my eyes to better spot possible attacks and vulnerabilities, and really allowed me to explore my passion for cybersecurity.
And I learned like so incredibly much. It catapulted me into environmental advocacy, which, as all of you know, has been my biggest passion throughout this past year.
The major change that I recognize within myself is that I'm now able to be myself around people, which I wasn't really able to do before.
I've connected with my peers through tears and laughter, and my coaches have become mentors to me. I will sorely miss this cultivating environment and the people who embody it. Okay.
I want to encourage every student everywhere to disrupt for good and empower their own communities. Thank you, YLab, for teaching me endurance, mindfulness, grit, and passion.
There wasn't an event that really sparked it, but I just felt like I needed to really take ownership of my life. And I started working and kind of networking myself as well. And eventually I got to the point where like I'm really happy and I have a solid plan on what I feel like I can do in my career.
I feel like I'm just ready for what's next and like how I can gain more. And in gaining more, it's just that information, because now I've just like love to learn. Like it's awesome. I love learning new things every day.
Even though my time at One Stone is complete, this ripple effect will continue to impact me in college and my life beyond. Next year, I will be attending the College of Idaho and will be focusing on further exploring medical science with the goal of pursuing a career in this field.
Thank you, everyone, for their time, and thank you, One Stone, for changing lives.
Like Mariel said, you have such a zest for life. And when I think of the people that are most excited and passionate and who I want to be like, in the sense of your excitement and your joy, you are one of the first people that come to mind.
And I remember one of our meetings with Michael, he kept going back to passion. Jaden, where's the passion? And using passion to fuel, what you're going to study, what you're interested in, what you're going to pursue. And just seeing that, I guess that transition from knives to, the medical field, and, who knows what it will, if that will stay that way, or if something else will come up. But just that path and that journey, being able to have that opportunity, and using that as a lifelong learning tool, is going to be pretty incredible for you.
And I'm really proud of our parents for seeing that you needed to change 2-3 years ago. That's a hard move to make, to put someone into a new high school and recognize that someone isn't thriving where they are. And I commend our parents for helping you get to a place where you could really be yourself and be the best version of you. So I'm really glad they did that for you. I love you. I can't wait to see you. And I'm so glad that you also feel more connected, you and I, because I feel that too. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this.
Yeah, of course.
I cannot thank you enough. I mean, Brian and I can't walk into One Stone without crying. We like literally, it doesn't even matter what's happening. We're like dropping off a lunch and I'm like, I walk in and I leave. I'm just like, oh my God, that place is unbelievable. And it's You know, it's all of you, and just thank you. I don't know what else to say, but thank you.